The Big Go Belt podcast is live once again. This is 2 Chainz along with my fellow co-host Jamal. What's up, my man?
Hello.
Ready for some turkey tomorrow, man?
I don't eat turkey, man. You know that. Stop bringing that up.
And today, we are blessed to be in the presence of royalty. We have the Egyptian royalty, the Queen Incarnate, Sahara Se7en. How are you doing, lady?
What's up?
I can tell this whole show we're gonna be laughing all day. So.
Oh yes, I'm goofy. A lot of people don't know that I'm extremely goofy, but I'm doing great. You know, royalty can't always be serious. Sometimes, you know, we gotta show our calm, cool, and collected goofy side.
I see. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time in your busy holiday weekend, and talking about busy besides just holidays. I mean, all of the shows and promotions you have to work this week is nuts.
I know, like I low-key have like really bad anxiety right now. I gotta be here on this day, and I gotta leave by this time, and I gotta make it here by this time. I'm literally like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. Like,
I mean, let's talk about that right now. I mean, you have you'll be appearing at Nova Pro this Friday, and you are to appear at WrestleCade this weekend. So obviously you can't appear there and Nova Pro the same on Friday. So that means you'll be going from VA to North Carolina Saturday?
No, right after the Nova Pro show, I am getting in the car, driving straight to North Carolina. There is no stopping me. Like, I'm going to, if I'm showing up at the end of the night at WrestleCade, that's fine with me. I can't wait to see like all my AML family. AML is one of the first places that really gave me a chance when I was like, you know, just starting out. So I'm not gonna miss anything. I mean, they know business is business, but I'm not gonna miss the chance to, you know, be a part of WrestleCade the first day out the gate. I'm not. I'm gonna do my job and then hightail it as fast as I can without getting any speedy tickets, Lord forbid, to North Carolina.
Well, I mean, you're royalty, so you get diplomatic immunity. So just give it pedal to the metal, man. So you're going to be doing WrestleCade this weekend in Winston-Salem. Are you going to be working a match, or are you going to be making appearances, or both? Or
right now it is booked as an appearance, but we have been going back and forth about this working a match thing. I'm down. As everybody knows, you know, my best friend is Renee Michelle, so every time I'm around Renee, she's like, "Come on, don't you want to do this?" She's like the bad little like devil on the shoulder. And it's like, you know, when you want to like recuperate your body, because you know the night before I'm gonna be, like you said, at Nova Pro in a Survivor Series match, probably gonna be beat up. So those girls are like, you know, including myself. When I say these girls are like, we're heavy hitters, so and we just walking and like, oh, everything's fine, everything's great. No, we're gonna be bruised, beaten, and battered. So I don't know why Renee just thinks that it's okay just to be like, hey, come on, let's go over here and do this. And I'm like, girl, I hurt.
Yeah, that's understandable. So about WrestleCade has been a big deal and a big part of your career so far, but how important is it to go and connect with the fans and connect with people that are really traveling from a lot of many different parts of the country rather, to be at an event like WrestleCade? A lot of Hall of Famers are going to be there. A lot of new talent are going to be there, and then we also have royalty going to be there.
Absolutely, I think it's really, really important for like, especially anybody, you know, in this day and age that is a, you know, a professional, you know, and calls themselves a professional, to connect with the fans. I mean, these fans, you know, pay money to see us, their hard-earned money to see us, you know, put on a show, and we go out there and we put on our best and our best foot forward. So why can't this one time a year we give back, and, you know, they get to be up close and personal with us? I feel like that's a great way to say thank you to them for, you know, them supporting us and constantly pushing us to do better, things like that. And also, I look at it, for me, I said this before, where for me it's like a, you know, year-end reflection of like where I was like last year at WrestleCade to like how I've come 360, you know, to this year at WrestleCade. And it's like, even though the year itself physically isn't over, but for me, it's like I'm still gonna be doing things after WrestleCade. But it's just, this is always my point of where I look back and I'm like, I did all that in this amount of time. like, you know, whether I want to change something or, you know, do better at something. It's just, I look at that as like a time to say thank you, and also as a time of like self-reflection. And it's also like kind of like a family reunion. I kind of say like, this business, everybody's connected. Everybody knows, you know, someone or knows something or has worked somebody or anything like that. And it's just good to get out there, network branding, like meeting new people, you know, just getting out there. And it's like not just the fans, but other workers, new talent, up and coming talent, like Hall of Famers, everything. It's just a good time. And I think it's just good for the soul, honestly.
So this is your third year working WrestleCade, and you talked about a lot of self-reflection and progress in that as well too. Do you also feel like, as far as the growth of WrestleCade being the event it is, that you play a significant part in the growth as that as well too? So could you tell the people who will be making that trip, sort of say how from your year 2 to your year 3, what expectations and should they be expecting going into it?
From year 2 to year 3, I think they should expect to see, well, from me personally, they should see, you know, more of a, I'm not gonna say I was immature, but like more of a mature woman that, you know, has her, like, knows her place in this business now. Like, I wasn't too sure, like year 2, I was kind of like, okay, I'm getting out there, like I'm starting to get, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm starting to get people to know my name, but like I didn't think anybody was actually gonna come to my table last year. This year I know guarantee I have fans. I know guarantee that I have people who support me and like me genuinely for me. You guys like me genuinely for me. Like you guys met me, you know, in person, as well as, you know, we're doing this podcast. So it's like I know for a fact that this year that people are going to see a mature young lady that, you know, knows where she is in this business and knows where she wants to go, and they're just going to see the future in my eyes. Like, they're going to see it from my perspective. So I would say they would see a more focused Sahara. They would see a more focused me. Like, they'd see the hunger and the passion, because I'm no longer like keeping that a secret inside of me, because I feel like that's what I did, because I wasn't trying to step on anybody's toes or offend anybody with my egotism. Like my egotism, I won't call it ego, but it's not ego, but it's egotism, like to be the best or to ask questions, because I was afraid to ask questions. I got told by so many different people, oh, don't ask that person questions, blah, blah, blah. No, how you get better if you don't ask? How do you get better if you don't learn? I'm no longer afraid to be, not to speak to, you know, such and such, because I want to know. Like, I genuinely want to know. And I don't do it in an offensive way. I genuinely go up and I try to network and communicate with myself. Like, communicate myself, bring my brand to the table. So this year, people are going to see the more like business and open side of Sahara.
Yeah, I mean that definitely goes with building the brand. I mean, you're basically a small business owner, and the business is you. So we gotta, you know, get that out there and grow the brand that is Sahara 7. So you're doing Nova Pro, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, because that's what we really want to talk about. But you're doing WrestleCade, and then in a week after that, you're going to be in Indianola, Oklahoma. Let me see if I can pull it up again. Yeah, it's Imperial Wrestling Revolution. It's going to be Wreck the Hall. It's December 2nd in Indianola High School at Indianola, Oklahoma. You're going places. I mean, that's not a small feat. If you haven't been yet, that's on your radar. And what do you look for when you're breaking into a company for the first time?
There's a lot of places on my radar. Some of them which I don't have a specific place for some of these places. I just know like areas. Well, I'll go off with some companies that I know. Shine and Shimmer, I'm looking to kick the door in on that. Rise, I'm looking to kick the door in on that. It's WWR, I'm looking to kick the door in on that. PWX in Carolina.
Charlotte, right?
Yeah, I think it's time for me to go back to Carolina. I've been out of Carolina for a while, and Carolina gave me my start. So I think it's time for me to go back to Carolina and pick some teeth in. Florida, I'm really trying to get my Reality of Wrestling in Texas, Booker's Place. How can I
Yeah.
not buy Booker's Place? How can you not? How can you? You can't go through Texas and not stop at Booker's Place.
Yeah, they got some names that have been through that place too. So, you know, that's definitely a good look. And of course, you know, there's like Fest Wrestling down there in Tampa. I think Sean is in Tampa.
Yeah, and this is kind of like a little bit off, but Zello Pro, definitely want to go check them out.
All right.
Who else? I don't know if you guys have heard of Tried and True Pro in Tennessee. Definitely gonna kick the door. Well, I have been kicking the door in there.
Right.
Where else? There's a lot of places I want to go.
So then, you went to Spain?
Yeah, Spain, Germany, England, Japan.
Okay, you see, you did what we call in the business burying the lead. You went from Tampa, Florida, you know, to Tennessee, to the middle of Oklahoma, to Spain. And Japan. You know, as much as I love beautiful Indianola, Oklahoma, when I say, hey, well, where do you want to go? Where you want to branch out? I want to go to Ohio and the moon. There's a difference there.
I've done Ohio. So I what? Okay, you asked me a question and I can't.
Well, I'm just saying, you can't just lead. You can't lead off with Japan. You can't give us Tennessee and then say Japan, like just casually throw that in there.
I'm speaking into the universe because it's gonna happen. Speaking it into existence.
Right.
Now, Jamal, I don't think you noticed something. I think I said this to you before, but I think it's very appropriate to say it again now. Now, do you notice how positive and how nice she is and how well-mannered she is too? Doesn't this absolutely brush you off like somebody else that's been on the show before?
I know where you're going with this, but I'm going to let you finish.
When I originally, huh?
I need to know who.
No, he's getting there. He's sprinkling the seeds. So this is what we call foreshadowing. So go ahead.
Also, this person is so nice, but also dissimilar to me and this other person too. Is as nice as you guys are, y'all love to punch people in the face.
Yeah.
But
I believe he was running the Catch These Hands tour this year.
Yeah, he might not even be on your good list right now because he's picking against you for this 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. He's Team Faye right now, even though his
sleeping outside in the cold. For those who don't know, we are talking about my brother, Dejuan O'Neal, the jerk. He's outside in the cold because how dare you cross your own flesh and blood? Like, come on, man. Like, you crossed your flesh and blood. It's okay. It's all right.
I seriously saw it on Twitter. He was like, yeah, I'm going Team Faye. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I had to go check the teams again. I was like, hold on. I was like, wait, you going to get your sister here?
Yeah. Come on, bro. You going to get your sister? And then you see I got him on Twitter, though. I got him real quick.
Yeah, you did. Okay. So the question is, who absolutely gets the drumstick off the turkey tomorrow?
No, he don't need it.
He don't look, okay. He's about just as bad as my dog right now. He don't even get that. He is out. Like, if I could get my mama in on this, she's disappointed. It's okay, because whatever next match he got, I'm going for the other person.
I figured next we should try to see if we can get Mom Dukes on the show next. I mean, it's only right now.
I'm gonna get my mama. I'm gonna be like, Mom, please explain to why Dejanil's staying outside in the cold. And why he can't touch the macaroni.
Well, it's Thanksgiving, not Christmas, so.
Matter of fact, I know there's some good cooking going on in Virginia.
Yeah,
basically.
Of course. Plus, we from like the South originally, so.
Okay. So then we'll see you in Nova Pro. Yeah. And that'll be great because you're bringing us a plate then.
Yeah, forget that merch. Let us buy that plate.
I mean, so you can go ahead and tell Mom Dukes you can hook us up with a couple pies. I'm not into turkey myself, but we got some biscuits.
Yeah,
we got some yams.
We got
some cornbread.
Regular biscuits. We got candy yams.
Oh, do we got okra? Okay. Are we gonna go that country?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So then we'll talk menu off the air, but we definitely need a plate. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay, got you.
But
Plate.
But yeah, talking about places you work. I mean, yeah, I've had you down Tennessee, VA. You did Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Maryland, obviously, and then you did something really interesting about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And you did about a 5-day tour, which was about a 9-match show in Canada.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's proven stamina right there to be able to do something like that. Not a lot of people have done something like that. We had Jordan Grace on about a month ago, and she's also done something like that. But again, you're looking down some of the hottest indie talent right now, and a lot of people haven't done such. So could you speak about one, taking a booking like that, and mentally, how do you prepare knowing that you're going through a country and towns that you've may have never been, and having to put on a show constantly every night?
Like that was honestly like a highlight of my career, because that right there solidified in my mind that I could do this for the rest of my life. Because most people, like I've said this before, most people in this business that are in this business only do it from 2-3 days out of the week, and then they go back to doing whatever they do. I mean, I work a regular job, obviously, but a shoot job, but I genuinely love this business, and I feel like things like that, like doing tours where you're constantly on the road and every night different shows, you're doing different matches, sometimes 2-3 matches a night. It will weed out the fake, the real from the fake, and the people who are built for this business and love this business. How I prepared for that was I wasn't even like ready. Like when they asked me, I was like, "What? What are you talking about? Like what?" And I got with my trainers, and I like told them, I was like, "Okay, this is what I have. This is what they've seen, and this is what I have. I need to better myself, and I need to go over there and offer something on the table, so that way they're not like, we just wasted our time bringing this girl, here." So I did my best to like get myself prepared, and get myself in that mind space to where it was like I can do this, and I do bring something that these girls don't have over here. And working in Canada was like working back when WWE was WWF and WCW, because if you're a heel, you're a heel all the time. There's nothing you can do about it. If you're a baby, they love you regardless. And for me, it sucked because I was always a heel. So they always hated me. But I mean, after a while, people, genuinely saw me like as a good person. Because I mean, I was always on in my heel stage, but you know me. As a heel, I'm not even like asshole-ish, I would say. I'm more of like a stick it to you, like behind your back.
Yeah.
Is it tough to be a heel, considering like your bubbly personality? I mean, you're like a super positive, energetic person, and you got to come out there and just kind of like be kind of bitchy, or.
Nah, no, that switch comes.
All right then.
Nah, that switch kind of comes easily because I'm a super bubbly person, but I always say, "Am I allowed to curse? Am I allowed
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck all that. You be all right.
But my slogan is, I'm a really, really nice person, but don't get it fucked up, because I will fuck you up. So
Okay, well, shit.
like,
I need that on a t-shirt. Don't get it fucked up.
That wasn't a gimmick. I felt that one.
Yeah, that was real. Like, you really told somebody that like 5 minutes ago.
I did. I tell people that at work all the time. I'm like, I'm really nice. I'm really nice, but don't get it fucked up, because I will fuck you up. So
yeah, well, that's
like I just
that's a good right.
That's my motto. Like that's Sahara's motto, and Sahara just thinks that everybody's out to get her. So she's kind of on her own like level. So
right.
She just don't care. She don't care. So that's like, it's not hard to switch. It's just, I think like, I don't know if you've ever seen like somebody go through a complete like personality change right in front of your eyes, but it's like, I'm never nervous. Like when I'm like in the back in the locker room, I'm never nervous. But for some reason, when I get to the curtain and I'm just staring at the curtain and I hear my music playing, I get nervous. and then when I go out the curtain, it's like, bitch mode.
Showtime. What you here for?
Right. Like, just like it's like a switch, but it's just the weirdest thing because it's like I'm happy, bubbly in the locker room. I'm fine, whatever. It gets to the curtain. I'm still happy, bubbly, but I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of nervous. Like, what? Oh, my hands are like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. Then like I go through the curtain and I'm like, yo, what? Who said what? This is my city. What? Who asked you? Like, that's me. But working in Canada, I think that helped a lot with that because they required you to be in character at all times. Like, I think the only time we actually got to like chill out was when we got back to the hotel room. And it was just like,
well, that was the way it used to be. I mean, when you were out on the road and stuff like that, if a person saw you without a cast injury on TV, then you don't want to give the fans any indication that something was up. So you definitely didn't see heels and faces hanging out with each other at the bar.
Yeah.
Or working out with each other at the gym. You know, we had to keep it, the suspension of disbelief still suspended. And now because of the internet and because of, social media and stuff like that, it's a lot harder to do that.
Yeah.
Where you go, damn, she really is a bitch and I hate that person, but she's so sweet and her Snapchat is littered with puppies and rainbows. And it's like, well.
That's me.
So okay, so yeah, you spoke about in front of the curtains in Canada. So behind the curtains, could you speak about the dynamics between the U.S. and Canadian promotions? The locker room, in other words.
Locker rooms in Canada, I would say, are genuinely a lot nicer, especially when it comes to females. And I say this not to throw shade on any of the locker rooms that I've been in with other females in any promotion in the United States. Disclaimer, but at the same time, I really
side note, you don't hate America.
I don't hate America. I don't. but in Canada, they are a little bit more female-wise, nicer. Guys in the locker room are not as sleazy. It's more of a helping hand dynamic in the locker room instead of, oh, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, and you could be lacking in this, this area, and I may know a trick or two that might help you, come up, but I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm trying to where I'm trying to get to, and you might, help me or hold me down. That's how it is over here in certain locker rooms. Not saying all locker rooms. Once again, a disclaimer: not all locker rooms are like that, but most of them that I have been in, it's like I sit there and I watch and I sit back and observe, and it's like, why can't you just reach out a helping hand to this person instead of thinking that this person is going to take your spot or take your shine or take your come up? Everybody's good at something, and everybody's gonna be good at something, and maybe that person is better than you at something right that second. But who's to say that? In the long run, if, y'all go one-on-one or y'all got this 30-minute iron match that, there's not going to be things that you best that person at,
That's true.
Well, we say about that, about, the one-upsmanship and how people may use someone to get over on another person. Do you think that comes from just the competitive nature of the business? Again, you are the brand. It is you. Sell you better than you. And though there may be similarities between you and another wrestler, you are you and they are them, and they got to stay in their own lane. With that said, because it is, especially on the independent circuit where you're not guaranteed anything, we don't know how that crowd's going to react or what's going to happen, in the ring or whatever. And that takes away from injuries and travel time and all that other stuff. Do you think that it's more of a place of just sheer jealousy, or in a me first, maybe you later, but definitely me first?
I think it comes from more of especially with the indies now, it's me first, me always, you never kind of thing.
Okay, so people are dicks. That's really what it comes down to.
I'm not trying to say that all things in wrestling are bad. I'm not bashing locker room dynamics by any.
No, you're speaking to your opinion and your.
No, I mean that's your experience. Yeah. We've definitely heard stories that to make your point.
I'm not saying that. That's all that wrestling is nowadays in the locker rooms, but I'm starting to see a more of a trend of that now. It's me first, me always, you never. And especially in like right now in the independent circuit, it's how can I one up such and such that's gone viral on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or whatever? How can I one up that? Or such and such just did this, so now we need to go harder and do this. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's not, and it's not just the locker room, it's promotions doing it too. Like, promoters,
yep.
bookers, everybody's getting in on it. It's not just like
it is a dog eat dog business, and unfortunately we do spend a lot of time based on what the next big thing is. And if people are talking about that thing at PWG, or people are talking about that thing at Rev Pro in England, but there's a reason why I know these names, because they did blow up and they go viral and made names out of people that we do know now and see on TV now. With that said, generally speaking, don't be a dick. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's working towards the same goal. We, the fans, want to see a great show. You guys want to, have a great show. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that guy.
And it's nothing wrong with going viral. Like, I'm not saying going viral in a bad way. It's like how I mean going viral is now it's like kind of like screw the psychology of wrestling and everything that we know to be self-evident and true. Yeah. It's like, screw that. We're just doing this to go viral. Like,
yeah, and to be viral doesn't mean that you're like you're doing it in like a well-mannered or an appropriate way. Nowadays, going viral is just like whatever the hot take is or whatever creates controversy. Typically that's really what all everybody's interested in now is controversy. So, what can I do, in negligence or just negative period to the atmosphere to create something that a lot of people are interested in?
Exactly. And it is a dog-eat-dog business, but I mean, like, don't be stupid and dog yourself out. Like, don't be stupid and dog yourself out like trying to like be the top dog and you sit up there and make a fool of yourself. That's one thing I just don't understand is, like you said, don't be a dick, but also just don't make a fool of yourself. Because like you said, you are your brain.
So you definitely have spoken out in the past in a very social conscious way about your experience in past with bullying, with locker room cliques as being a problem, and also just general disrespect. Period. I don't think there's a direct question here, but could you enlighten us a little bit about what does it take? What does it take for you up in the day to step into a building, knowing that you've dealt with stuff like that and the fear of it, and to still be able to shine through it all?
Every single time I go somewhere, new shows I've been on, it honestly, you can ask anyone that's been around me, it takes me a while to like open up and like sit in there in the locker room and talk with other people if I don't already know you, because of the fact that I'm observing everything, because I did deal with that. I've been told to my face that I'm talented enough to be on their shows, and they've seen what I can do, and they like me, and they want to bring me in, but because they have a group of girls that they are constantly trying to satisfy, that they have to make sure they get their spots on the shows first, and that if any of them call out, that I'd be the first person they notify. I've been told that to my face, and it kind of just like in my head just validated everything that I didn't want wrestling to become, which was superficial, stereotypical, and just flat out wrong. And so like literally I feel like every time I go to a locker room, the courage that I have to build up is I have to tell myself and repeat this to myself that I am Sahara Se7en. I worked my butt off to get here. I've overcame so much to get here that no one in this building is going to take that away from me. And if they think they're going to take that away from me, they got another thing coming, because physically we're going to have a problem. Mentally, we're going to have a problem. And at this point right now, spiritually, we're going to have a problem. So,
not spiritually, damn, you got to your soul.
Yeah, so I've built up a very like high tolerance and mental blockade of that stuff now. And it's like when I see a new girl or guy experiencing like being shut out of a locker room or shut out, or they're sitting in a corner because, you know, these group of people are such and such are whispering and staring at them. I personally feel that. Like, I feel it. So I do my best to make sure that, you know, the person that wasn't there for me when I was experiencing this, I'm that person now. I go over and introduce myself same way I am, giggly, bubbly, laughing, joking with you guys. I'll go over to that person that's the locker room, you know, black sheep, and sit there and have a conversation. If they're not hurting anybody, if they're not doing anything disrespectful, anything like that, and they're just simply just being there in their existence, living and breathing, what's your deal? Like, what is your deal?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think we need more of that. We need just more of that in society, especially when we turn on the news and we see something that's aggravating on us. We need more people to step up and be like, hey, you know what? It's all good, man.
I wish I can directly quote this, but Papa Hales definitely sent a tweet out like a couple of days ago that said something on the lines of like, wrestling should be a place where everybody should be safe, where a lot of these stories that are creeping out of, you know, on Twitter nowadays should never be a thing, where this atmosphere should never have been such, but it should be a place where everybody should be safe, where, you know, kids, guys, girls, wives, husband, everybody should be able to come. And I absolutely 1,000,000% agree. And like, you know, the more you hear stuff like that, it's saddening, but when you hear stuff like what you're doing, it gives you hope that, you know, hands are still going out to give, and to give back, the hands that keeps on giving, the gift that keeps on giving. And, you know, that's part of like why like we kind of got into doing the show and stuff. Like, yeah, we like to talk wrestling, but at the same time too, it's just a fun atmosphere to be around good people, and you want good vibes. It's cool. I like any shows because it seems to be a little bit more personal, where you can meet people and create friendships, and hopefully, you know, you're not running into people who's trying to put themselves over the whole business or the promotional, whatever it may be. But everybody's just there, like, you know, we're friends. It's a culture, a family culture. So
Absolutely.
it's good. It's definitely good to hear what you're doing on that note.
I mean, I just don't want anybody to suffer like the way I did. I went through a very dark time, you know, in my life. And I didn't have someone that was like, hey, it's okay to be you, breathe, you know?
Yeah.
It led to like, you know, a dark place, and a place that I still to this day, I'm amazed that, you know, my will and perseverance and, you know, and my faith brought me out of.
Yeah.
So
I found Papa Hale's tweet, and I'm going to ask you. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to ask you a question based on it.
Okay.
He says, "I'm tired of regional promotions relegating women to minor roles. Good promotions, successful promotions can feature women in major matches and storylines. Look at VA Wrestling." And of course, you are a part of the main event this not tomorrow, but Friday at the 11th Dimension in Fairfax at the JCC. The point is that, you know, it's a 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series style match, and some promotions, and we talked about this with Mike yesterday, the owner of Nova Pro, where you have the women's match, and it's used as, it's just non-linear. Just insert it there because yay women, I guess, and it's just a throwaway match or a bathroom break. But now, guys like Mike and Nova Pro and other promotions around the country and around the world that are not women only are starting to feature more women in matches of significance. And that's the point. It's not just the fact that women are here. It's just that their stories mean something. The women mean something. Do you think that wrestling as a whole, the big guys or the little guys and everybody in between, have we turned a corner with the way women are treated in wrestling in respect to their place in the wrestling society? Or how much further do we have to go before women in wrestling becomes something that we don't make the distinction anymore?
I think we've come a very long way from where we used to be. Like, first of all, I'll give everyone that's trying, everyone that is, you know, making a difference when it comes to women's wrestling, and not just the women wrestlers themselves. We're talking about like promotions like Mike at, you know, Nova Pro, and, you know, WWR and all these other places that are featuring women, like that are having, you know, women's main events and having, you know, women in serious storylines and going above and beyond. I honestly, I bow to them. I congratulate them. Like, honestly, I'm so thankful for people like that. But I feel like we still have a long way to go because there's still issues of women being groped in locker rooms, you know, inappropriately, and being talked to any type of way by promoters and bookers. I'm not saying that I know any of these like people, but story wise, like things that we've heard, you know, women being, you know, approached by bookers and writers and things like that, you know, asking them for, you know, god awful sexual favors in return for a booking, you know what I'm saying, like, or stuff like that. I've heard horror stories, and I feel like until that is not a norm and that is not something that that is talked about when women's wrestling is brought up, I think that's when we have reached the end goal of where women's wrestling is no longer just women's wrestling. It's wrestling, but women are a part. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be that way. It should be, hey, I'm a wrestler, or hey, I'm a professional athlete. Okay, what kind of professional athlete are you? You're a woman such and no, it shouldn't be I'm a woman such and such. I'm a professional athlete. I'm a wrestler. Boom. That's it. That's where it should stop. Like that's not even stop, but that's where your category should lie. It should be male, female, women, man, like kid, child, whatever. It should just be like, this is what I am. I'm a professional this, and that's it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. And
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Papa Hells. You know, it's a very insightful, you know, tweet that he put out, and it is something that is, you know, reflective. And honestly, as fans, it's on us. You know, we spend our money there, and if it's something that you want to see more women. I know that personally, I've come to Mike and said like, hey, we need this woman, this woman, this woman, and he's like, you know, I don't know, whatever. And things just have to, you know, even out. Last year they had their first intergender match. The crowd was kind of iffy. I don't know where this is going to go. I'm not sure how I feel about this. And then fast forward a year, we have Keith Lee versus Angela Slade, which is my personal favorite match of the year from Nova Pro. So baby steps. We're definitely taking baby steps, but the bottom line is A, don't be a dick. B, it really all comes down to that. And B, it's not women's wrestling or men's wrestling or cruiserweight. You know, you can make any type of separation that you want, but until we get where like China was the main event on Raw, that's not a trivia question. That's not something that it should just be. It should be just the main event because it's the most important match. And I guess we can talk about your Survivor Series match that you are a part of, Team Veda.
Team Veda.
Exactly. Team Veda represent. And even though can't really get your own family to back you up on that.
Are we really still talking about this?
You know, that's got, but that's got to be a point of contention for you personally, though you're part of the team. But individually, it's got to push you a little bit further to prove the people, the naysayers, whoever they may be, wrong.
I mean, you got a lot of things here to prove. I mean, number one, you definitely owe Faye, first of all, at Nova Pro. You faced her at Nova Project 3, and you also faced her at American Slang 17, where she did get the best of you both times. And you know, so you owe her on that. And then on the contrary, at another promotion too, you absolutely did beat Brittany Blake to capture the MCW Women's title. So I'm sure she's going to be coming back for you on some vengeance on that as well too. And then you got family motivation here with the Juggernaut. Obviously, can't even with full confidence back his own sister. So
I mean, I don't understand how that happens, honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna address this.
Go for it.
Okay, first of all, we're gonna get the Juggernaut first. Juggernaut is a deranged little boy. He's my brother, but he is a little boy. So he, first of all, sees pretty women that aren't his sister and is going for them. So that's a plus. I'm gonna chalk this up to my brother's hormones running wild, and thus that's why he's cheering for the goth vampire, Brittany Blake, and Faye Jackson. I know for a fact that my brother finds the goth vampire, Brittany Blake, and
Miss Milkshake.
Well, I mean, he is a milkshake enthusiast. I've heard.
Yes, he finds them attractive or something.
Is that why his merch table was right next to hers? Oh, this is all making sense all of a sudden now, huh?
Yeah, the juggernaut is thinking now.
The plot thickens.
Exactly. So his alliance is always to his blood. It's always to his blood. I know it. He's just refusing to admit it right now because his little girlfriend's on Twitter. But that's all fine and dandy. But no, seriously. Brittany and Faye are really, really good competitors. Brittany, she can go, obviously. But I still want to kick her in her teeth. So
right.
And Faye, I owe her a kick to the head. Maybe knock a couple chiclets out, jam up that milkshake machine,
Oh.
Yeah, because she definitely gave you the McFlurry a couple of times.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate all of that. I didn't ask for
McFlurry though.
Like I didn't ask for that. And besides, I like cookies and cream anyway. So like I didn't ask for all that. Like I didn't like, girl, sorry, I didn't order chocolate. No, thank you. We good. We cool, but we good. But nah, on some real. I owe her a lot. Like I feel like y'all are gonna see at Nova, y'all are just, I'm trying to tell y'all the vengeance of the inner queen inside me. I don't call myself the queen incarnate for no reason. They don't call me the queen incarnate for no reason. Literally, I am the reincarnation of Cleopatra, who is the reincarnation of Isis. So it's like I have the royal bloodline and I have the rage of all those women scorned throughout history inside me. And it's like I can harness that energy and trigger it and focus it to something that I personally feel offended and like I feel slighted on. And trust me and believe me, I feel offended and slighted. The fact that they rubbed her milkshake all up in my face. Okay. So it ain't nothing to just channel that at the 11th dimension. Okay. Like
we're ready for that. Speaking of Team Fada, I mean, you're teaming with a massive team here. I mean, this is absolutely an all-star team. I mean, this match might as well be East versus West here because, I mean, you're with Alley Cat, you're with Lainey Luck, Deanna Perazo, who's making her debut at Nova Pro, and Veda Scott.
First of all, Deanna is cool. Love her. I've met her. She's very nice. Cool chick. So I'm all for her. Veda, she picked me to be on her team. Like, come on, man. Like, she's a smart girl.
Veda's a very smart woman. So
exactly, who wouldn't want to be on, a smart chick's team? Like, I don't want to be on a dumb chick's team. I'd rather be on a smart chick's team. And clearly, Veda's smart. She wears black. Hello.
Yeah, she has 4 eyes, 9 lives.
9 lives. Yeah, yep.
Exactly. Alley Cat's a cat, man, dude.
That's 9 lives too. So that's 18 lives.
What are you saying? Right. Like, we are winning right now. We are winning.
Right.
I'm looking at these numbers now. Yeah.
Lainey Luck, like her last name is Luck.
I mean, right. So you have the Luck and 18 lives.
And then of course,
so who's no slouch. I mean, team stacked.
But yeah, Deanna Perazo was dropped off as a care package by the gated community. That's enough said right there. You have royalty.
And on top of that, she's the hottest free agent. Like, come on now. The hottest free agent. You got the hottest free agent on the team. Really, come on now.
Oh, it's going to be a great time.
Round the team out, you got lucky number 7. That's me.
And then across the ring, you're gonna have Faye, Mia Yim, Team Paul, PAWG. I don't think there's no need to break that down. And then Brittany Blake. But no, as far as that team, you have Jordan Grace and Lufisto. Could you now you've worked, like I said, you've worked with some of these people, but some of these that you haven't worked, what do you expect? Do you think there's a period where you may need to get familiar, or you're going in shooting guns?
I am going in guns blazing.
Guns blazing. That's what I mean.
Blazing. Like, I mean, I haven't personally worked Mia Yim, but I am really like, it surprised me that she's on the other team, though. Like, it's not really a surprise because I knew her, Faye, whatever. But they got that goody goody two thing going on. But never worked Mia, but I am excited that she's in this match because another hard striker. This is gonna be great. And who else? Lufisto. I've had the honor of sitting under the learning tree from Lufisto, so I'm excited. Like, come on now, I'm excited. Jordan Grace, I've faced her before. She can go too. The girl can go. Clearly, the girl can go. Who else am I missing? Anybody else I'm missing? Brittany Blake, I mentioned her before. And Faye, I mentioned her before. And Lufisto and Jordan are pretty much the only two I didn't mention before. But like I said, Jordan can go. I've worked her before. Know exactly what she's capable of, and she's capable of some new things and surprising. So, I mean, it's not like I'm saying I'm taking her lightly because I'm not. And Lufisto, hell no, I ain't taking her lightly. Like, what? Nah, no, heck no. But I'm super excited for this match. Honestly, I am. I'm looking to get my little vengeance on, in this match. But I'm also excited that what this is going to do for women in all of our careers, as a whole. We're putting on a display for fans to enjoy, and we're making history in the process. Virginia's getting shaken up.
I gotta say that we'll be in the crowd. He'll be driving up from Tennessee, and if you may not have heard, the Macon Towns Classic will be next May. I'm sure he's gonna have big interest in this match to seeing who else may be the next entrant into that 16-woman 1-day 2-show tournament.
Right.
So, yeah. There's a lot, and not to mention too, we're talking Nova Pro next year. We'll have an all woman show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this match,
an all woman show, and an all women's Commonwealth Cup too.
Yeah, there's a lot. This match, I'm sure, some of the top promoters will be looking at into this with some intrigue. So, one step back, if you can talk briefly about Ashley winning the MCW Women's Championship over Brittany Blake. That moment. I mean, the pictures show a lot of emotion, and a sense of like you knew that you deserved it. But I just curious to know what would you say when on through your head upon capturing that victory.
Like I kind of was like, this is my moment. There's no like shade on Brittany, but you had your time to shine. This is my time to shine. Like, I'm gonna work my butt off to get to this moment, and it's not like I'm not gonna like help you along the way. Like I'm saying, like I was just preaching against. No, I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying like you had your own opportunity to shine. And it's like, in this opportunity, it's either we both gonna shine or one's gonna capture the title and the other somebody has to lose, basically. Somebody has to lose. And I'm trying to tell you right now, I'm doing my damnedest to make sure it's not me. And in the end, I did everything I could possibly think of to make sure it wasn't me. And the emotion that I felt when I actually held that thing, I was like, this is life. Like, not trying to sound cool. I was like, this is my life. Like, this is stuff right here. Like, I've held the title before, but it didn't feel the way it felt, capturing one at MCW against somebody who I considered, a friend and someone who was willing to go that distance and put on that show with me for that moment, Yeah. And
well, so, it sounds like, I'm sorry, it sounds like it's so awesome that you're going to do it again next Friday up in Joppa.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to squash this little bug, man. Not even gonna front. I'm planning on beating her. Planning on softening her up on at Nova.
That's the plan. That's
And
our
then I'm
kicker
gonna,
game plan.
yeah, I'm just giving away my game plan now. I'm gonna soften her up at Nova, and then I'm gonna squash her at MCW. I told you it just switches on and off sometimes, on and off, on and off. But but yeah, no, like I'm excited to do it all over again because one, I always want to put on a good show, and I am a fighting champion, and I don't ever want anyone to think.
That's right. Uh-oh.
Oh, she muted herself.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, somebody called me.
Hating.
People always want to call me right when I'm like doing something. But no, I want them to see that I am a fighting champion and that this is not just given to me just because I'm there or I look a certain way or who I'm associated with and all this other stuff. I want them to see that this is what I work and I was gonna say ass, but I was gonna say my butt.
Don't worry, we're not gonna.
Well, you just did, so it's okay.
Yeah, I worked my ass off for it, and no one's gonna take this from me. And this is literally a combination of just the things that I can achieve now. Like this is like me getting in right now. Like this is the peak of my right now. You just wait till you see the peak of my future. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so this is an important step, but it's a long road. And you, as MCW champion, main eventing this weekend, the future seems very bright for you, Sahara 7. Thank you.
So before we wrap, I have one personal question, and then I have a fan or two question I wanted to read off for you as well.
Absolutely.
So my question comes from another interview, and I apologize for not quoting the interview it came from. But this actually came from a transcript from an interview that I read. But I think you were asked about maybe one of your worst defeats you've ever experienced, and you quoted who happens to be one of Noah Pro's fan favorites, who's is maybe retired right now due to the hands of a fellow friend of yours, the Bo Crockett. And you once being quoted saying that one of your worst losses was against Innocent Isaiah and GXW. I'm sorry.
Yes. That was embarrassing.
I just got to know what went on here.
Oh my god! That was so embarrassing. Like the match itself was great, but it was just he literally like outgirled me. He outgirled
yeah, that's what he does.
He outgirled like now that I look back at it, he outgirled me and he outbitched me.
Yeah.
And
that's what he does.
I don't think I will ever get over that. To this day, there's nobody like been like bitchier than me, but like
you definitely missed the guy.
I miss him. I miss him, and I thank him for that match. But he definitely outgirled and outbitched me.
You know what? I wonder, this out of curiosity, if you tweeted him, what team was he going for this Friday? Who would he pick? I mean,
absolutely, he picked Faye. And you know
he was part of the team. What would they call?
Booty and the Beast.
Booty and the Beast. Yes, that's right. So one of his second to last matches before he went on IR. But
Lord.
Yeah.
You know he Team Faye. I don't even know why you know.
Just checking. You never know.
You Team Faye.
No, who, me?
You peeped that, huh? You peeped that.
Who, me?
I'm starting to think he Team Faye, trying to act like he impartial.
I'm Team Nova Pro.
Yeah, good one.
Team Nova Pro. I love everybody.
You better not be standing up and cheering and singing. Oh my milkshake.
I'll be sitting there making sure I get all the gifs ready for after the show. That's what I'll be doing. No, actually, no, I will not have my phone in my hand. I'll be witnessing maybe one of the most monumental and special matches in Nova Pro history. So I'll be cheering for everybody. Everyone. If anybody wins, the fan wins that day for sure. So that's what it matters.
Just so everybody knows, it's Team Veda for the win, though.
I mean, like the fans win the night, but Team Veda wins the match. Right.
Team Veda for the win.
I got a question coming from Facebook too, and I know I'm gonna butcher his last name, so excuse me for getting that right. But his name is Joseph Smoshkin. I believe that's correct.
Okay.
He wants to know if I can ask you about when you may be returning back to hybrid wrestling in Pennsylvania, and your thoughts on their product.
Going back to hybrid in Pennsylvania, I have no idea. I know I still keep in contact with everybody from hybrid, so maybe sometime in the new year I'll be back. My thoughts on their product, I was involved in an inter tag match last time I was there. I enjoy being there. I enjoy their product. I really enjoyed myself this last show, which was really great. And I think it was Eddie Stone.
Yeah, up near Philly, right?
Yes, absolutely. Up near Philly. And it was so much fun. So I enjoyed their product. And it wasn't just me and Tasha Steeles as the only two females in the locker room. Maria Manick was there, and so was Willow Nightingale. So they do a pretty good job of incorporating more females on their show than just their one popcorn match like you were talking about earlier, because they don't really do a popcorn match. They try to bring in the best talent that they possibly can. So I really do commend Mike Hamilton on that, for him working really hard for hybrid wrestling. And he's also a very, good guy. He's a funny guy. Quite frequently we share inside jokes on Facebook. So, I mean, I consider him family, and I consider the people at hybrid family. So I love hybrid. I'm hoping to be back there in the next coming up year.
Yeah, they had a show around Halloween that I wanted to go to, but just couldn't make it work.
I was on that show.
Oh.
Sounds like he's Team Faye.
Yeah, he sounds like he's Team Faye too. I don't know how.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do that to me.
They might edit this and make it sound like I said a whole bunch of Team Faye stuff. I ain't say nothing about no Team Faye.
Too bad it's live, so there'll be no editing. It's out in the universe now.
Y'all know how y'all do what it's called. Fake news. Look, fake news.
This is live, man. It is what it is.
But yeah, Jamal, do you have anything before we wrap up for today?
Well, I mean, I just want to say that you can definitely find Sahara 7. What's your Twitter?
It is
Sahara_007.
Yes.
Got that down in memory. But you're going to be at Nova Pro's 11th Dimension, part of the main event, the 5-on-5 women's elimination match this coming Friday in Fairfax. You can check their Facebook page or Tumblr if you want to get tickets. Front row is gone, but GA is still available. Let's pack the house. Bring the turkey. Let's have a potluck. That would be awesome. But just come through the JCC. It's part of the toy drive, so it's very important that you bring a new toy that's unwrapped to the Jewish Community Center of Northern Virginia. It's for the kids, and it's wrestling, which is for everybody, so it's going to be a good time. Team Theta versus Team Faye, and Sahara 7 on Team Veda for the win. That's going to be a good time.
Team V for the win.
That's right. Winston-Salem, North Carolina for WrestleCade this weekend, which I thought was next week, but no, it's this weekend. And then you're going to be up in December 1st in Joplin, Maryland, somewhere north of Baltimore in the woods, for MCW, where you're the MCW Women's Champion versus Brittany Blake, the rematch, and this time it's personal. So you're yeah, man, you got dates.
Yeah, and then the following day I'm in Oklahoma. Is it?
Yeah, you're in Oklahoma. Beautiful Indianola, Oklahoma, next to the Waffle House. You out there and for in Indianola High School. It's going to be you got dates, man. You're all over the place.
Absolutely.
So definitely follow her on Twitter Yeah, follow me on Twitter so that you can find out where she's going to be next. Because Sahara Se7en will surely be in a town near you soon.
So many dates on my calendar. It looks tattooed. I had to plug that. And you're on Facebook too. Check out the fan page, Sahara 7. Again, the Twitter, Sahara_007. Plenty of dates. You can't miss her. She's going to be expanding everywhere. She'll be doing the Show on the Moon 2018. Prepare for that. Because that's happening. But again, we thank you for coming on the show on your busy holiday and eventful weekend in wrestling. Continue being a walking testimony for everybody that's dealt with, the things you've dealt with, and and helping others get through it as well, and being a positive figure in the locker room and outside the locker room for the fans as well too. So we appreciate that. That's from the heart too. But again, Sahara 7, we've been blessed by Egyptian royalty tonight. The Queen Incarnate, thanks for coming on the show. Catch her all the days as we said. Thanks for tuning in, and we are tuning out.
See you tomorrow.